Funniest teammate?
Oh, Keone.
Is there any stories behind that?
None that I can share.
Hello everyone, I'm Komaso with ESPN Honolulu, and today we're filming another episode of Athletes. Today we're at Asahi Grill in Kaimuki, getting to eat with two-time national championship winner, Kana'i Akana. So let's sit inside, eat, and talk story with the athletes. Alright, so joining us today at Asahi Grill is two-time national champion and former University of Hawaii men's volleyball player, Kana'i Akana.
How's it going?
Before we start our conversation, I wanted to highlight where we're eating today. So we're at Asahi Grill in Kaimuki, their second location. They have another one in Ward, but they serve some great local food such as oxtail soup, mahi-mahi, steak, everything you can ask for in a local restaurant. So the chef is cooking up our food right now. We're gonna wait, we're starving, but we're gonna ask Kana'i some questions to start off and we'll get right into it. So as we wait for our food, I wanted to start Kana'i off with some quick hitters to get kind of the audience familiar with him. So my first question, Kana'i, is who is the best volleyball player in your family?
I'll go with Taylor Crab.
Not yourself.
Not myself, no, definitely not me.
Person you look up to most. Could be anyone.
Ooh, Tony Crab.
Wow.
My
Okay.
grandpa.
If you
Or
were
Wendy Crab. Shoot, it's a tie between my grandparents, Tony and Wendy.
3 celebrities you want to have dinner with, dead or alive.
Yeah. Okay, LeBron James.
Yep.
You know that boy. Okay, LeBron James. Gotta go with Michael Jordan too,
Right.
honestly. I'm just doing all basketball, honestly.
It's okay.
Kobe Bryant.
Nice. All right. Last meal on earth. What are you eating?
Tonkatsu curry rice, honestly. So I got today. I got
From Asahi Grill, right?
from Asahi Grill.
So before we get into all these questions, we have quite the spread from Asahi Grill. We have mahi-mahi, tonkatsu curry, local moko, oxtail soup, kalbi. They really hooked it up at Asahi Grill, so we appreciate them. I guess we can start eating. As we eat, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. So I wanted to start off with Punahou High School. They just won their 10th consecutive title, 39th overall, which is crazy. You were part of 4 of them. Explain where the dominance comes from.
Totally. So I think one of the reasons why is because the legacy that Punahou Volleyball has. So before my time, there's been a tradition of excellence at Punahou.
Right.
So it attracts all of the state's best volleyball players to want to go play for that program. You know, it's a tried, proven program, and it's got great coaches. And Punahou is just a great school as well, so it's easy to attract these great players.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest reason.
What is it like playing for a guy like Rick Tuna? What do you think his impact is on that program?
Yeah. So I really like Rick. He's a great coach. For me, he was a player's coach.
Yeah.
He was great at instilling confidence in his players.
Right.
Because he lets you know every day how much he believes in you, and then in turn you can go believe in yourself in those critical moments.
Yeah.
So I think that really showed. I mean, Punahou this year, they went 3-3 with Kamehameha, and every game was super close, and then come to the state semifinals, it started, we're down 24-21 against Moanalua in set 4, and that was, if we lose 1 point we go home, and then they just clutch up for 5 points in a row. Right. And win that set, win the next set.
Right.
All comes down to that self-confidence of those players.
Sure. Coming out of high school, were you ever recruited by the University of Hawaii, or was it always BYU?
I was recruited a little bit by Hawaii, but I don't think we talked to each other as much as it never really got serious.
Right.
I'd say. I think I had the mentality that I wanted to go to the mainland. You know, in any recruiting process, you're surveying the field and looking at your options and constantly weighing those options until the end.
Why was it BYU though, out of the rest?
Yeah, at the time, BYU had two of the best coaches in the nation.
Really? Okay.
Maybe three. Oh, when I got there, they actually both left. And one of them was a local boy, Jalen Reyes, who's a local boy, volleyball player, Kamehameha guy. Just a super cool guy. So I felt like I had that connection to him. So unfortunately, right when I got there, they left, and I was kind of like, oh man, that sucks.
You went to BYU, and you transferred after your sophomore year.
Yep.
To UH. What went into you transferring?
Yep.
And what was it like playing for both programs?
Yeah, totally. So I transferred because COVID happened. I felt like, part of the reason was because COVID. Felt like I needed to come home, a little less uncertainty being close to home. And the other reason is I just felt like I needed a fresh start.
Yeah.
Right? So spent 2 years there. I didn't really feel like my volleyball career was really going anywhere there. I just made the decision to come home. And then, so comparing the two, I'd say BYU and Hawaii are actually very similar in the fact that their fans are some of the best fans in the world.
Really?
Yeah. So BYU, like, their games are packed, like sold out a lot of the times. You got like hundreds of these Mormon fans, like you're serving right here and they'll be like right behind you, like cheering in your ear. So it's an electric environment there. And that's kind of similar with UH. So reflecting back, like, not all volleyball environments are like that, and most of them are not. Like, most of them are not that packed.
Was it ever hard to accept the role of a serving specialist? Like, kind of
Great question.
Knowing the kind of caliber of player you were.
There's definitely times where it's hard, right? Because I'm like, dude, I could go to like a lot of other schools and be like a starter or like the guy.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like. It was definitely hard, but what's rewarding of it is, we won freaking back-to-back national championships. And if I go to other schools, I don't have that same culture aspect, that same fan support. I mean, the games are like, they're like some of the highlights of my life. So like, it's unreal. They're electric in there, and it's such a great experience. I'm like, you just gotta, it was so worth it for me to just buy into that role, because of how awesome the program is and how awesome the fans are, and the experiences that we get going to these national championships. And so there was always that conflict, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right, and that kind of leads me into my next question. Like, for local boys, would you recommend them going to Hawaii and playing in front of that home crowd, or going away?
For volleyball?
Right.
Definitely. But it depends on their goals, right?
Sure.
If they want to play, like, be a full 6-round guy, unless you're like the man here, realistically, you're gonna have to work your ass off.
Right.
Like, work your ass off if you want to start here.
Exactly.
Because they're constantly bringing in the best Europeans.
Yeah.
The European national team guy who's been playing on the European national team since he was 15. From each country, at each position.
Right.
If you can do that, it's definitely worth the effort. I mean, there's really no experience like playing volleyball here.
My last question to you is your lineage of volleyball players in the family, right? Can you touch on that and how your family has impacted you as a volleyball player?
Totally.
Growing up?
Totally. Yeah, my family, especially on my mom's side, has a long lineage of volleyball players. So it's just been great role models. I'll start at the top with my grandpa, Tony Crabb. Coached the 1984 USA Olympic team. Got our first gold medal ever in men's volleyball. So he was a big reason for that. He also coached at UH. I'm not sure the years, but he coached UH for a couple years, head coach, back when they were at head or assistant coach. Maybe assistant coach. Back when but he was basically the head coach, I think, from what I've heard, the stories I've heard. Back in Clum Gym. So he's like a legendary volleyball coach, kind of known throughout the community. He's a tough volleyball coach, demands the most out of you, but I've had so many like just uncles come to me and say, "Oh, like your grandpa was my favorite coach I ever had." I'm like, really? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it starts with him. His brother Chris Crabb was also a legendary volleyball player, beach legend, still playing at like 70 something and still really good.
Really?
Yeah. And then my cousins Taylor Crabb, who are Chris Crabb's sons, Taylor Crabb and Trevor Crabb. Taylor Crabb got Player of the Year at Long Beach a couple years back, outside, undersized, 6 feet, but just springs and just knows how to play the game, right? And then him and Trevor Crabb also went to Long Beach. They're both playing in the AVP right now, which is the American Professional Beach Volleyball League. And they're both killing it. Taylor was supposed to go to the Olympics, this past Olympics for beach volleyball, but actually ended up testing positive for COVID the day he landed.
That's terrible.
So it was terrible, yeah. Like, oh, it was the worst. And then Trevor was supposed to be his alternate, but he hurt his back playing golf like the day before he knew.
No way.
Yep.
So will they play in the 2024?
Well, they
have a shot too?
Yeah, well, the U.S. only sends 2 teams, so they gotta like.
So that's 4 players.
Yeah, 4 players. Yeah.
Wow. All right, our last segment, we're gonna do some teammate questions, getting to know and expose possibly some of the UH volleyball players. My first one, funniest teammate.
Oh, Keone.
Is there any stories behind that? Or it's kind of just...
None that I can share.
All right, teammate, I've heard some of your teammates speak some bad pigeon. Who speaks the worst pigeon?
Okay. Like...
Who tries, but is just like...
Terrible? Yeah, I'll go worst and best.
Okay.
Philip and Jakob.
Those are the worst.
No, they're the worst and best.
Oh, okay.
Because they're European. Like,
maybe we'll have some clips.
But they're actually pretty good. They're the only really guys that speak pigeon, really.
They like try.
They like speak more pigeon than most of the local guys. Really? Yeah.
Okay. Highest vertical on the team.
Chas Galloway.
Lowest vertical on the team. Hey, you're a volleyball player. Everyone has a high vertical.
That's what I'm saying. It might be me, honestly.
Okay. Match on the line.
That's not me.
Who you setting?
Okay. I'm setting Dimmy.
Okay. That's it for another episode of Athletes with Kana'i Akana. If you guys like this episode, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let us know who you guys want to see next on Athletes. That's it for me, Kana'i.
Thanks for having me.
We're out. Thank you guys.